Not every film can be Citizen Kane, but even critics have claimed that it was shit in its day. Some films are shit and shit they will stay, but some get better over time because of Nicolas Cage. So which film stays shit forever? And which one's got a little bit better? Second chance movies. No poor bloods were harmed in the making of this podcast.
I'm one of your hosts, Jessica Kwazz.
And I'm the other host, Joe Harper.
And here we take movies that upon first viewing were divisive, really good, really bad, and we see how it's kind of held up second time around, if it's worth keeping it around or not. So that's what we're doing here.
We love movies, and so let's talk about those movies.
Yes, and this episode we are going to be talking about Man of Steel.
Woo! This is the movie that kicked off the DCEU.
The beginning of the end of the DCEU movies. Yep.
That's a fun way of phrasing it. Yeah. This came off right off of the heels of the Dark Knight franchise. And Marvel was getting its start with Iron Man and Thor and Captain America, building a big old universe. And it looks like DC was trying to do the same thing. And so this was the start of their universe, Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
Superman.
Oh, yes, Superman. Man of Steel himself.
Mm-hmm.
I am excited to talk about it. I have my Man of Steel eyes, which if you're listening, you can go check us out on Instagram, maybe find us on YouTube at Second Chance Theater, and you can get the visual appeal of my Man of Steel eyes. It's just something fun I'm doing to keep myself sane while still quarantined, to do like a eye makeup theme for each movie we talk about.
I don't wear makeup because I'm naturally beautiful, but maybe I'll start wearing makeup one day. Who knows?
It's fun. I make up, I just enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be doing it. But I like my little blue and red swoop, for Man of Steel himself.
I'm letting my quarantine beard grow.
Yeah, you're doing that. So you add some visual component to the mix as well.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who don't know, we're gonna go about the summary of the Man of Steel. IMDb describes it as an alien child is evacuated from his dying world and sent to Earth to live among humans. His peace is threatened when other survivors of his home planet invade Earth. Now, Jessica, is that how you would describe Man of Steel to somebody?
For
someone who has no idea what Man of Steel is, how would you describe this movie to them?
So I would summarize it for someone who just doesn't know what Man of Steel is, as Superman. You know him. We all know him.
How does someone not know who that guy is? I think he's worldwide known. Exactly.
I think we don't need to hide the fact that this is Superman. I think we can just easily say it. We know him. It's just okay. So I would describe it as a different take on Superman. And in it, we're gonna go over his childhood and how he had to find a good balance of like being an alien while also like hiding in the real world. And sometimes that doesn't work out well for him.
Sure. I think there's roughly about 3 superheroes. You can name them, and I think everyone universally knows. I know who that is. Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man. And we know their origins. We get it. So this is essentially this origin of Superman. Earth's first encounter with Superman while doing backstory of who he was as a child to grow into who he is.
That's good too. I think just saying Superman instead of alien baby, like we don't need to beat around the bush here. It's
An
Superman.
Alien child.
An alien child.
But he looks human. And when I hear the word alien, I think of like a fun, goofy monster.
Yeah. So I don't think Superman when I hear alien child. Like like a little green baby situation is what I think of. So just saying, Superman technically, yeah, an alien. Um, it's him. It's him. He's Man of Steel.
He's just from a different planet. And we get to see that planet.
We do.
So we get to see that planet, its destruction, and what led Superman to come to Earth, and the people that may have followed him.
There we go. So let's talk about Man of Steel, the movie itself, a little bit more.
So
what's going on here?
Itself, we got director Zack Snyder, who I believe at the time was known primarily for 300.
Yep. Big movie.
Since then, I think Watchmen and some of the DC movies. Now, he's definitely got a unique style that is divided. I feel like a lot of viewers either love it or hate it, which would probably why this movie got some flack when it came out. It was written by David S. Goyer and Christopher Nolan. Both, I think, contributed to the Dark Knight trilogy, which was widely successful. Everyone loved those. Starring Henry Cavill as Clark Kent Superman.
Can I just say real quick that whatever you have to say about this movie, I think Henry Cavill is actually a very good choice for Superman.
I like him. I think he's, one, I think he looks the part. He's just like he looks like a farm boy who grew up in the Midwest. He's super like bulky and just manly. And yeah, I can't think of anyone else who could do the look as good.
Right. And I think it was also a smart choice to kind of take a page from the Marvel playbook and cast someone who wasn't really widely known, so that we could easily think of him as Superman while watching this movie. Of course, he's become more of a household name now, but before this, we didn't really know, at least I didn't know who he was. And you're right, he has the look of being the Clark Kent farm boy, but then also being able to switch into like chiseled Superman. So yeah, I just think he was a really, really good choice.
I think the biggest thing to his name when that came out was The Tudors, and
that
was a show. I never watched it, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the biggest credit to his name prior to Man of Steel, and now we all know him as Man of Steel. He's in The Witcher, and
he builds computers.
And he builds computers. Yeah, that's what Reddit knows him for. And one of my personal favorites now is Mission Impossible Fallout.
Oh yeah, he is really good in that.
The one whole shot with him just boom boom cocking his arms. I just think, oh man, Superman's just gonna beat the shit out of you, buddy. No, you're done. Don't even try and fight this guy. Amy Adams is also in the movie as Lois Lane, a reporter. He's trying to get the scoop on Superman.
Amy's very well established at this point, so I feel like, unlike Henry Cavill, who kind of just blends into Superman, she sticks out for me.
I think she's had a lot of work in like TV, like small parts, all like just bit parts everywhere. She had a few starring roles. The Oscar nomination in Junebug, The Wedding Date. My parents love that movie.
Is that with Deborah Messing?
No, you're thinking of is it The Wedding Date? It is The Wedding Date with Deborah Messing. Yeah. I'm thinking of a whole thing. I'm thinking of Leap Year. That's the one my parents love with Amy Adams. Oh my God. They just won't stop talking about that. There's a few movies that they'll watch. They're very limited with their choices. Leap Year is one of like the 10 movies they like.
Okay.
I can't explain their thought process. But she's in quite a bit of things. Talladega Nights. She pops up in The Office. We know her. She's been nominated for lots of Oscars. It's fun to see her as Lois Lane. And as our main villain of the movie, Michael Shannon is General Zod. And
love him.
Michael Shannon's one of my, I think
Yeah.
One of our personal favorites. He just every time he's on the screen, it's just something different. Just brings this energy, and I feel that's definitely happens in this movie as a war general from Krypton that wants to make Krypton better. He wants
Yeah.
to reestablish Krypton that's dying, and but he just is pretty violent or aggressive in his manner.
So I just want to say real quick that yeah, like you said, Michael Shannon is one of my absolute favorite actors. And I feel like he isn't like, he doesn't get the recognition he deserves a lot of the time. So when I tell people I love Michael Shannon, usually the response is, who's Michael Shannon? And since this is his biggest role, I say, the guy who played General Zod in Man of Steel, and they're like, yeah, that's your favorite actor. I'm like, look at his track record. Now that you know who he is, go see what he's done. And he's done so much. And every time he's just like, yeah, like you said, giving something new, giving some weird take on something. It's just, God, he's so great. But yeah, this is probably his biggest role.
And before this, he was nominated for Revolutionary Road for Best Supporting Actor. So I think that's one of the things that led into this. Unfortunately, he has a very small bit in Jonah Hex, another DC comic movie that is. I don't really ever want us to talk about it because I don't want to watch that ever again. But yeah, since then he's been in a lot of things. Most recently, Knives Out. Yeah, all around so fun. As Superman's Earth parents, we have Diane Lane and Kevin Costner. As his space father, alien father, we have Russell Crowe. And that kind of rounds out our big cast of the movie.
Excuse me, I have to say something for my Law and Order SVU stands out there. Christopher Maloney pops up as Colonel Hardy, and like, yeah, it's a smaller role, but I love him, so I was pumped. I was jazzed about it.
Yeah, I know who Christopher Maloney is. I don't think I've seen an episode of Law and Order. I'm one of the very few people in the world who's never seen an episode.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. There's a reason it's been going for 20 plus years.
That's true. I'm just not into the procedural shows.
Okay, well, it's the best of the bunch, and he's wonderful. So I just wanted to, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that he's in this.
I think we all really know Christopher Maloney's like best role was Freak Show in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
As gross as it is. The production budget of this movie was roughly about $225 million, and worldwide it received $668 million. So it definitely doubled what it was worth to make. So good job, movie. Successfully in the sense of money.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely made a return. So that's, I mean, and that, like we said, it's sort of the start of the DCEU. So how that performed mattered where we were going to go from here. So good job, Man of Steel, killing it. When did you first see it? Before we get into our second time viewing it, when was your first time?
I had to have seen it in theaters. Anytime there's a big superhero movie of a superhero I'm well familiar with, boom, I go see it. And I think especially off of, all the Batman movies that just got released, I was excited to see a new version of Superman because the Superman Returns, it was in like the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
That was pretty lame in my eyes. And so I was hoping for something better. I'm always hoping for new, better stuff. And I just remember being blown away, like visually, by the movie. I like Snyder's just style of how he makes movies. So, and I thought it was a fun, interesting take on the origin of Superman with incredible action sequences.
So I remember the first time I watched it, I did not see it in theaters. I don't know what sparked it, but I was just like at home and could finally watch it. And I was like, oh, I heard this sucked, but I like Zack Snyder's style.
You still go in knowing it's probably gonna suck.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it might suck, but like I said, I like Zack Snyder. I liked Sucker Punch, which is another movie of his that a lot of people
That's a
did,
fun
but I
one.
liked it. So I thought it might be the same. Like, not everyone likes it, but maybe I will. So yeah, I gave it a shot, and yeah, I remember thinking like, okay, this isn't that bad. I think people need to calm down. So the first time around, I didn't hate it. I didn't like it wasn't my favorite movie, but I do remember thinking like, okay, it's not that bad. It's not as awful as people are making it out to be. Um so let's see what other people said their first time around watching it. Let's get into some reviews, baby.
All right, I love hearing reviews.
I do too. I love reviews because it's like a weird time capsule for a movie where we get to go back and see what the reception was. What were people thinking? Did they love it? Did they hate it? Was it not enough sex like Phantom Menace? So
That is always going to be the standout review of our show. There's no way there's going to be a better review than someone complaining there wasn't enough sex in Phantom Menace.
that's true. Maybe we'll find one, but for now that takes the cake. We'll update you if we find a better one. That's for sure. So let's start off with one of the negative reviews, one of the many negative reviews. Rafa Guzman at Newsday said, Cavill broods handsomely as Superman, but this reboot skimps on fun and romance. Not enough sex in Superman.
Oh, so I'm gonna pause right there. I don't think there was a need for romance in this movie.
No, we didn't. It's not required of movies to give us romance. And I mean, there was a relationship, so I don't know what we don't.
Well, I'll disagree, but we'll get into that about Lois's relationship with Superman in this particular movie.
Okay, so continuing on, Snyder provides an elegantly illuminated retelling of the origin story of that most saintly of superheroes, Superman. That comes from Dana Stevens at Slate. She loved it, thought it was a magnum opus of Snyder's, couldn't get enough. Peter Travers for Rolling Stone said, Man of Steel is a bumpy ride for sure, but there's no way to stay blind to its wonders.
It's pretty wonderful.
I mean, he's got a point. And then
there's like a spectacular like feel throughout the whole thing, kind of like an uplifting, like super feel.
A super feel for a superhero, yeah. I don't disagree. And then probably my favorite review, because it's very take what you will of this. Stephen Ray at the Philadelphia Inquirer said, Man of Steel is just the same old, same old.
Oh, disagree. I think it's a nice fresh breath of air from like older superhero movies we've gotten.
I just like the lack of an actual criticism for it. Just was like, I don't know, this is the same old, you know what I'm saying?
Whatever. Superheroes say things, whatever. I mean, you could say that about like, you know, a rom-com. Oh, they fell in love. Oh, same old, same old.
Same old, same old. You
War
know
movie.
how it goes.
People fought. Oh, same old, same old.
Yeah,
a biopic. Oh, they told some guy's story again. Same old, same old.
It turns out there's a lot of movies that are same old, but they might be good in that box of same old, same old.
I mean, a formula. Stick to the formula, guys. If it works, it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean, this is a good point. Marvel knows what's up. Anyway.
Whoa, shots fired! Oh. I need a little button every time you just put DC in its place when you compliment Marvel. Hey, DC, by the way, Marvel's getting their shit together.
I mean, is it a dig if it's the truth?
I just want to say, DC, if you're listening, do better. You have all the pieces to your puzzle, and somehow you drop the ball. I need to say it.
If you're listening, DC, I want to say, if you want to be a sponsor for the show, we'll take the Warner Brothers money. We're not gonna say no to that.
We want you to do better.
We want you to do better because you guys got some really cool things going on here.
We believe in you. We just have just been disappointed because we know you could be better.
So speaking of feelings towards a DC movie, let's talk about our second chance that we gave Man of Steel, our second viewing, how it went, what our opinions were, what we liked, what we didn't like. Let's get into the second chance of it all. So let's talk about Man of Steel.
Your second viewing of this movie?
This was actually my literal second viewing of this movie.
Okay.
Yes. Like I said, I watched it around the time it came out, but like after it was in theaters, so around that time frame. And remembered again thinking like, this isn't that bad, but also at the same time I did think I want to watch this movie again. So yeah, it's been since it around first came out. This was my very second chance.
I mean, I own it on Blu-ray. I'm sure I watched it right as I bought it the first week it came out. Again, that was probably my second time. I've seen it a handful of times. I don't think I've seen it since maybe Batman vs Superman came out.
Okay, so it's been a while still.
It's been a while for me. I haven't seen it in a while because we've had quite a long year of Marvel movies coming out, and I've had my time occupied with them. We've also had DC movies, and I've been watching those. I just wanted to get some more shots because
it's really easy.
It's
really
it's
easy.
low-hanging fruit, and I apologize, everyone. I'll stop doing that. Oh, it's inappropriate.
Yeah, so like this time around I was very interested to see if my opinion would have changed since it had been a while, and like I said, the other time I was like, that's not that bad. I was curious if it changed at all, if it held up, if I liked it more, liked it less. So this time around, one thing that really felt stronger to me than the first time was the non-linear timeline of the movie. So we have this origin story of Superman. It starts off like the movie starts at his birth. So it is like origin, like we are starting from the top. And then after that, after he is sent off to Earth by his dying parents, we see him like as an adult, and then
his parents aren't dying.
The whole planet's dying.
The planet is dying.
So he's therefore dying. It's all dying. It's all bad. It's all really bad. And then so when he gets to Earth, the next thing we see is him as an adult, and then we kind of follow that, but get big flashbacks to when he was younger, when he was like learning how to be an alien baby on Earth, and yeah, like it's hard for me because I like the idea of tweaking with the linear storyline that we usually see with superheroes. I think it's a fresh idea because we all see the origin stories that are just cut and dry beginning to
first like 20 minutes of a movie is I get my superpower, like a radioactive animal bit me, like oh no, now I'm super strong, I can do something. So yeah, or like a relative that's important passes away and now I have the obligation to do something. And so I think it was nice, fresh in my eyes of a non-linear storytelling. I think it's fun pulling back, and it wasn't in a way where what he's doing right now, the flashback is why he's doing that.
Yeah, I do think though that there were times because I really liked seeing him grow up, which is like maybe that's because I used to watch Smallville, I don't know. But I especially like the casting of Diane Lane and Kevin Costner feels really wonderful for them. Like it just feels like these are two good people that would take in an alien baby. I like these people. I want to spend some time with them. And I am interested in like the idea of this alien being trying to fit in but coming off as like this anxious weirdo. I like that idea. So but there were times when we were in a flashback and it was almost like hard for me to be fully invested in it because I knew that we would be exiting the scene and going back to the main story. And then when we were in the main story, it was like I found myself wanting to go back to a flashback because I liked that part of it. So like, yes, I like the idea of nonlinear, but for me personally, it was hard to kind of connect with each scene. Even though they did relate to each other, it was like, oh well, I want to go back to this, but when we're in this, we're about to get out of it again. So like for me, it was hard. It was like a hard structure for me to like really be immersed in.
Okay. I enjoy seeing Clark kind of like or he doesn't really develop his. I guess sometimes he develops his abilities, but more so he is put in circumstances where he's in a school bus, it falls off a bridge, and all those kids are about to drown, and he makes the choice, I'm going to save them. You know, he's told by his father, no, never use your powers, because if you use your powers, the entire world will know who you are and they're going to judge you, and life will not be great once they know who you are. And even with that fatherly advice, he doesn't care. And I love that we see the character develop of, you know what, I don't care. I'm a good person. I'm going to save these people, even if it puts my life at risk and puts my family at risk. I need to save these people. And I like that we do see bits and moments of that. And we also see how it how that changes some, even like the minor characters. Like there's a bully that picks on him, but because he notices that Clark saved them from drowning, later on, when bullies are picking on Clark, our original bully reaches out and like picks him up off the ground, like, hey man, like, you know, to help him out. And I think moments like that are just sincere, genuine, and just kindness of humans to other humans.
Yeah, I really like that as well. I like that in his youth is when we get like the very like humanistic part of this whole story, where yeah, not only him learning this, but like how that affects other people around him, and if they do think he's a freak or if they like him, you know. I will say though, okay, so I gotta be honest, I don't know a ton about Superman's origin. I know the basics, like we all know, and again, I watched Smallville. But
Is that your basis for all your Superman knowledge?
no, I've seen a couple Superman movies in my day, don't get me wrong, but okay,
You also don't have to preface it every time. By the way, I watched Smallville, and all my knowledge is from this.
Guys, I've seen Smallville. I did okay,
opinion.
but I want to say that like while I know the basics of Superman's origin, it's not like with Batman we all fucking know that Martha and Mr. Wayne got shot. We all know it because we've seen it at least 5 times. But like, do you know if like in comics or in other movies, like how Superman's dad, Jonathan Kent, the man who raised him, dies? Is it always in that tornado?
I don't know.
Okay,
You
I
know,
don't either.
there's too many comics. I'm sure there's a lot of origins. I don't know if that's specific to it. He may even be alive in some of the comics. I don't think Superman's parents being alive or dead really affects the elements of Superman. I think just the way he was raised by them is what's the important meat and potatoes of what made Superman. I do
Yeah.
like this where they were very, in this particular movie, they're very encouraging of, he wants to know who he is. And you know what? You know, Kevin Costner takes him into the bar and is like, this is the spaceship we found you in, and gives him as much information as he knows. And, you know, good luck, son. I wish we could tell you more. And, you know, then we get to see, I don't know what, I assume he's early 20s. That's kind of where our movie starts off after a big Krypton blowing up, is Superman on the search. You know, to the, I guess, giant spaceship he knows about that has landed, so he can talk to Ghost Dad, Ghost Krypton Dad.
Yeah, so like I do have some problems with this in that like I agree that the way he was raised is what really matters to who he becomes as a superhero.
Mhm.
But I also think like his father's death, Jonathan Kent's death, was a learning lesson, because at some point he even says like, I had to let my dad die to hide my secret, and that's kind of when I was like, okay, is the secret worth hiding anymore? But at the
Yeah.
same time, like the way Jonathan Kent died really annoys me, because it seems like this could be a really easy fix and he didn't have to die this way.
Yeah.
You know, like he runs back to a car to save a dog in a tornado, which like part of me is like, yeah, go save that dog. That's your dog. Like I would do the same thing. But then at the same time, like Clark Kent, Superman, is not all that far away from him to run over and just like act like a really fast human.
Yeah.
Grab
And he
him.
could be just like lucky and strong and like, hey, it just didn't pick us up, but I'm weighed to the ground.
Right, like there's because there's a long moment of the tornadoes coming towards Jonathan, and he lurks at Clark, and he's like, "No, son, don't save me." And but Clark's like, I love you, I want to save you." And it's like that whole time, a normal human probably could have ran and picked his dad up and came back. So it's like that. I needed to feel like there's no other option. Like Jonathan is dying right now. We can't save him. I don't know what that would be. Like I don't know what that moment would be. But yeah, for me, it almost like it annoyed me. It was like, well, he could save his dad and still like not be outed as an alien. Like I don't, whatever.
That moment tugs at my heart every time I see it.
Oh yeah,
him just raising his hand like, don't.
I know.
You can't show anyone. And then I'm like, oh yes, he could let him fly to you, but I don't think he knew how to fly yet. With the linear timeline, I think halfway through, my wife and I were just like, can he fly? Like, what? Why is he not? He learns to eventually fly, but because it's out of sequence, it's hard to figure out when that beep pinpoint was.
Right. Yeah.
At least
so there's
when
that.
you originally. But I know it's at least tornado happens before he learns to fly.
Yes. So I mean, that's another thing where like the non-linear kind of does get a little like, wait, where are we at? What, you know, but like yeah, for me, I think the death would have been more impactful if there was more of a situation where like, because I mean I also get very sad when Jonathan's like, don't save me. Like he literally sacrifices himself so his son could have a great life. And like there's something very beautiful and emotional about that. So like I like that idea. Of course, I don't want him to ever die, but he, you know, whatever. Which is why I was wondering, like, does he always die like this? Because if that's a personal gripe that I have, like, okay, well, that's what they were working with. But I think there could have been another way where it was just like, no, there wasn't a choice. Like, he couldn't have even just ran over to his dad. I don't know what that moment is, but like, yeah. And then speaking of fathers, Russell Crowe's character as Jor-El, Alien Dad.
Jor-El, I believe, is his name.
Jor-El. I think Russell Crowe is a really good choice to be this sort of like bigger than life father, you know. But
I think all three of it, well, technically four, but the three main parents we focus on are just excellent choices.
Yeah, no, truly. Like I think
big name, seasoned actors that just carry like they help. You know,
yeah, they're really likable. Like they really are people that I'd want to have in my life. Like I think they're wonderful. Oh, fun fact. Actually, originally Gal Gadot was supposed to play Superman's alien mother, but she became pregnant and had to drop out because she was showing, which was like, well, she did just give birth, so she would have, whatever.
That was literally all that character did was give birth and then explode on the planet.
Yeah, so she still could have done it, but hey, it worked out in the end because now we have her as Wonder Woman. But yeah, I found that out.
We can't use you. We're gonna have a pregnant scene, and as a pregnant woman, we can't have that.
Just doesn't make sense. It doesn't work.
What are we thinking? What are we doing here, gal?
Yeah, I think men still think women don't have a belly after, like, right as soon as the baby comes. It's just like whoop.
Yeah,
whoop,
I don't know
if
you, as someone who has watched Smallville, I can tell you that once you give birth, you're flat bellied again.
Yeah, that was a plot point. But okay, so one thing I will say is I I like this journey we go on with him where even though we've seen it before with Superman stuff, like him becoming an adult and trying to like learn the secrets of his where does he come from? Like what is a spaceship? What's up with this? But I do think that we learn things like almost a little too soon. Like he meets his uh dad who's like a projected version of his father on an alien biological dad very soon in the movie, and so when they meet I don't feel like, oh, this was a really big deal, like he's been wondering like who this person is. I don't like I don't know, maybe just seeing more of like his younger self or seeing him as an adult like really trying to figure out like who is he. It comes way too easily to him as well, like he is at a bar and he overhears someone being like, yeah, that's alien shit, right? And then he goes there and there's dad, so it's like
it may just seem easy because of this non-linear timeline.
Yeah.
Whereas he probably was searching for years and doing some investigative journalism, not being a journalist, but then eventually he'll become a journalist. But yeah.
Yeah. So that's like where it is again, where it's like I like the idea of a linear timeline, but then also at times it doesn't work for me.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
I like jazzing it up, just back and forth. Give me some of this, slow it down with old past, speed it back up with action stuff in the present. Let's do it.
I do commend it. I think it's cool. I do think it's a good idea. But yeah, there was just, and it's, I mean, it's worked before in movies. It's not like it's like a telltale sign that you can't have your story be told in a certain way. But like for this, I personally struggled in really investing in learning who Clark was and relating to Clark and then being able to relate to him as Superman, like understanding the full journey. So yeah, I don't know. Like at times it was like I don't really like how do we get here? This feels unearned, like it just happened. And it does sort of at times feel like we are just rushing through this origin and these flashbacks, just like getting through it so that we can get into the action. So
okay.
So that's an issue I do have.
One of the things I really enjoy about this movie is seeing Superman or just a superhero do good things, saving people.
Mm-hmm.
I think, when I see that, and I think it's one of the things we like about superheroes is that they go above and beyond to help everyone. Whereas it's the case where the school bus almost drowns all the kids, or even at the beginning when he's riding in a helicopter trying to learn about, I think he's riding in a boat because he's on his way to like learn about his family and his origins, but then he hears that a rig is on fire and you know what, all those guys are going to burn, there's no way to save them. He doesn't even think twice about it and takes off. And I just like, I mean, I think that's why we like watching superhero movies, to see them do something super and saving people. And I think this movie gives us a lot of moments of him helping people out.
Yeah, I agree. It is really nice to see because also Superman has, while he's learned his powers throughout his life, he's always sort of had them. So when we hang out with him, he's born with them. So when we're with him in his 20s, like he already knows certain things he can do or not do. Whereas like Spider-Man, just like he gets bit and he gets powers and he's like, what the hell? So Superman's able to use the powers he knows he has to help people. And I think that is exciting to see.
So one thing I noticed about, I guess, this rewatch, maybe I was paying attention and I didn't pay attention the last time. I think that's wrong. He doesn't always have the reason. So he doesn't just have those powers. The reason he's more powerful is because he's on Earth and not Krypton. Right at the beginning of the movie, we're on Krypton and Krypton's blowing up. Jor-El jumps in off something to go land on a flying creature, and the wife is like, why doesn't he just fly? Can't they all fly? And I thought, yeah, why don't they fly? And I think they mention in the movie that there's an element, or maybe it's later in the movie, probably I think Zod mentions it. I didn't write notes for this movie, But Zod, or someone, I'm not going to say Zod, but someone mentions that the properties of Earth are a bit different, and so that's why I think Earth is a little bit like lighter for them, and so that's why Superman learns to like, oh, I can fly. Oh my goodness, look at me fly! Like he discovers he can do this. I guess he always had the ability, he just didn't realize it. And then if he was on Krypton, they couldn't fly. They're not like super invincible strong, but it's just the elements of Earth. Because he's on Earth, he can do all those things. Now, if he goes to space to a different planet, I don't know if this Man of Steel Superman is able to keep flying on other planets, or if it's just Earth he can do that.
Okay, so yes, like
So we don't ever get to explore that, so who knows?
yeah. Yeah, so like that's like you said, we don't get to learn that, but that is like an interesting position that he has, that like here he is like a god, but elsewhere he's nothing.
But that's kind of what I like about the filmmakers, the writer. They decided like, hey, this is the Superman we're creating. We've got elements that we can pull from comics, other movies, but it doesn't necessarily have to be what you knew. Like, you know, just because he did something, Superman did something in a previous iteration, a comic, doesn't mean he has to always do that. Because if they recreated the movie the same way as every comic, it would be no surprise. Why would you want to go see that?
Mm-hmm.
Just take what's
Yeah.
What I like is take what is what we love about Superman, the fact that he's the farm boy who is trying to hide his identity, or he's the alien hiding his identity as the farm boy, as the journalist, and still wants to do the good and help everyone. Even though he has the power to destroy everything, he still wants to be kind. That's the essence of Superman. As long as we have that, I don't really care what outfit he has. I don't really care what look he has. Let him do his thing.
So another thing that I really like, and this is kind of superficial, but it is something I found myself very much enjoying, was the fighting and just like the exciting and the engaging fight sequences he has. So yes, we see him doing really wonderful things and helping people out, and that's real. I like those moments as well. But when Zod comes around and he's got a fight, he's got some really cool moments that are just, I don't know, really exciting to watch.
Like holding Zod and just continuously punching him through the cornfield and then through buildings.
Yeah, I really liked this fight scene that took place in his hometown, where it's just this small tiny town.
What's his hometown name?
Smallville.
Smallville!
Which is, I don't know if you know this, it's a show I used to watch.
What?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how you know who Superman is.
That's how I know who Superman is, yeah.
Okay.
That's how I knew how to do my eye makeup, was
Smallville.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which I only think I watched like the first 3 seasons, and that show was on for like ever, so I didn't really watch all of Smallville. But when it was on, I was like, oh my god, I watched Smallville.
I was coerced into watching episodes here and there, and it was against my will, but whatever, it was okay.
I think it was more exciting when you're a middle school girl and it's like Smallville, because that's when I
unfortunately never got to be a middle school girl, so I can't check that off the bucket list anymore.
No, so you don't understand what it's like to see Tom Welling as Superman when you're not a girl, not yet a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Anyway, but I like this, like this big sort of sequence with Superman versus Zod versus Zod's minions versus the United States Army, like just sort of this big scope of a fight scene that's happening in this small town.
And this is where they still don't think Superman, they don't know what to think of Superman.
Right.
And they're kind of like, attack all of them.
Yeah, so I guess
they get at least the army, that's the first time the army gets to see, oh, this boy in blue is actually helping and aiding us. So anytime these scare, or these aliens in the black armor are trying to attack and blow things up, this one in blue is always shielding us and carrying us out of the way.
Yeah, so that's a really good point. I mean, that fight scene is really cool and exciting to watch, but it does also yeah, have an effect on Superman's reputation, if we will, if we can trust him or not. So I
I
think
feel like
that's
time and
cool.
time again, he proves himself. Like, guys, um, I don't know how you can't keep not believing me. I keep saving everyone. I've got to, like, this is again, maybe this is why Papa Superman should have been like, you know what, actually show your powers. Let everyone know that how great you are.
Right, that you're cool and you're nice
Yeah.
and you can
That,
do really
oh,
great
you're always
things.
helping everyone.
Right. We could use it actually.
This would be
Well,
really
yeah.
this would really help right now.
Yeah, so and on that note, I do want to I want to say something that I didn't like too much.
Okay. What did you not like about this?
So speaking of like when he comes into being Superman, the first time we see him sort of coming out to the world, the Superman, if you will, is when Zod comes in, he invades Earth,
With
and
that
he's
creepy telemessage?
that part I love. I love that. I love the creepy telemessage. He takes over all the TV screens and just keeps saying, "You are not alone." And then is like, "Hey, there's been an alien on your planet and I want him."
So, unfortunately, when watching this with the wife, this was her first time watching it. I still have that Blu-ray. I have it in the PlayStation, and that moment, I don't know why it happened. It started stalling because it's a disc, and I was like, "What? No, this is pretty important. I think this is going to be pretty important." And it just skips ahead like 30 seconds, and then the speech is over. And I was like, "No!" And I turned off the PlayStation, and I was like, "Nope, let's go streaming. I have to go to HBO Max because I have to watch this uninterrupted. This can't happen again." So the Blu-ray is retired.
Yeah, no,
Retired.
that's really unfortunate that she had that part interrupted because I think that might be the coolest part of the whole movie, in my opinion.
Okay.
I
You
just
just
think it's
like Michael
dope.
Shannon. You
I
just like
do.
Michael Shannon. But
I
it is
do.
really creepy. And man, Zod, I think Zod is, we're going to pull a Marvel reference, very similar in the sense of Thanos. He's a villain I don't necessarily hate, because he's doing things, he's justified, at least he thinks he's justified in his mission. His
Yeah.
mission is restore Krypton. Planet's dying, planet blew up, and all I want to do is make sure we keep the lineages of our Kryptonians going. He's pretty violent about it and aggressive. First thing he does that we see him in the flashback is gun down one of the High Lord, political people, just shoots her. And oh, well, he's definitely the bad person. But he's doing it because they won't listen. He's not, hey guys, we need to fix Krypton right now. It's almost like climate change. Hey guys, we gotta stop what we're doing. Fix this now.
Yeah.
If you're not listening to me, I'm gonna get shit done.
Yeah. I think that's what makes like really compelling villains is when they do terrible things, but the intentions behind them aren't bad. Like that's a really fascinating idea of like, but he's actually trying to do something good, but he's just going about it all wrong. Like that's pretty interesting, and I think that's what he's like.
Kind of. I was just thinking of another DC villain that gets a rep as a villain, and I don't understand why. Poison Ivy. All she wants to do is help plants, and why is Batman after her? All she wants to do is make sure the plants grow. Like, let her make the rainforest great and stuff. Or bad. No, you're bad.
That's true. We could use her, especially nowadays. Just let her do her thing. If she's not hurting anyone, whatever. We need
So
plans.
Zod.
Zod.
Michael Shannon Zod.
Michael Shannon Zod. Wonderful. But I like, okay, so getting back to my original point of something I do not like is we have this wonderful moment of Zod being like, I want the alien that's on your planet, give him to me. And Clark's got to make a really heavy decision. Do I come out and reveal myself, or put myself in the Superman position and then reveal myself as Superman and my life will change forever? Or do I let Earth feel the ramifications of my secret? Obviously he chooses the good situation, puts his Superman garb on and marches himself down to the US Army and is like, hello, I am here, I am the alien. What I don't like, because I like all of those things, I like that Zod comes in heavy, he's ready to fuck shit up if he doesn't get what he wants. And then Clark kind of is backed into a corner. He can't just like live his life how he's been. He's got to make this decision. But what I don't like, it's something that gets me, is that we've seen Clark as this kind of like timid, quiet guy who's got to sort of shun himself from a normal society because of who he is. And then we do get a peek of him as Superman that we know of as Superman. But when he rolls up to the army, he has such confidence. Like he is ready to go. Like he is making jokes. He is owning the room. He is put in handcuffs and he's like, I'm just doing this to calm you guys down. I could break these any moment. And while I like that, it's also a little bit like, wait, how did we get here? Like, how are you so comfortable as Superman right away when like we've only seen kind of the opposite
This might be an issue because of the timeline.
I think so. I think so, because like, yeah, we could have benefited from learning how he was able to just get more comfortable with like, this is who I am. Cool.
Maybe it was the flying that just got him his confidence.
I mean, that's true.
Once
like I
flies,
feel like once I flew,
he's just like, you know what? I can do anything.
I can literally fly out of here at any second.
Yeah, what am I doing? Why am I worried about any of these humans? Oh, and the handcuff moment I think is so fun.
Yeah.
Such a good little detail because it comes off with such ease. They're like, he's like, I'm just doing this for show, and just like casually does it as if nothing is there, and think, and like, what?
And
show
it's
them
another
like, dude, guys, like, I'm awesome
and I'm not gonna hurt you. Like I took these apart, but I'm not about to try anything. Like just we're cool. So I do like the moment overall. But there was something in the back of my mind being like, how is he this confident already? Like, didn't you just become Superman not that long ago? And now you're like in it, you're like, I got this. Like, I don't know, that's just something that was very glaring to me and something I didn't like.
You know what, I don't ever see that moment as cocky. I think it's just kind of like, well, gets confidence and cocky go
two different things.
They're similar, but there's a thin line.
But there's a difference.
Okay. I think he's fine. He can be confident and nice and kind.
No, he can be, but it's like, how did you get there? Is what my issue is. Is like,
you know, during those time jumps, there's some situations we didn't film.
We didn't show, but they're there. Just,
you know what? Clark goes to the bathroom, but we can't have, you know, we can't have a 30-year movie every time he had lunch. You know, I would love a scene where he just like, I gotta stop 1 second. I'm hungry. I need to go get a sandwich and just give me 15 minutes. We'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to eat, right?
What does Superman eat? There's so many good questions.
There are so many questions that are just unanswered.
We could just make up answers if we want.
That's true, yeah. So like you said, he got his confidence from flying. I mean, that would probably do it. If you could just jump and fly.
I mean, I don't know if that's the reason why he's confident, but
it could be.
It would bring me some confidence. Like I can do anything.
Yeah.
What?
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. So do you have anything that you want to talk about that you like?
Who that I like? Oh,
Mhm.
we already talked about what we loved the most is Zod. Well, Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon.
Michael
Just
Shannon Zod, my favorite.
yeah.
I do think the I think it's like the last hour or last 40 minutes of just like the destruction of Metropolis
Mm-hmm.
is insane. Visually pleasing. It just because we've got uh oh man, we got so many things happening. So we got the alien ships. One is planted in Metropolis. One is on the other side of the world in India, just vibrating the world and just smashing crater, getting bigger and bigger, just taking out so many buildings, so many innocent lives, and just like thinking afterwards, like that's gonna be so expensive, so many lives. Oh my god, like this is such a destructive force. It's insane how much is destroyed in that ending. I love
Yeah.
seeing we have Lawrence Fishburne in this movie as Perry White, the owner, or I guess the boss at the Daily
Planet.
Planet. Um,
I watched Smallville, so I know that it's the Daily Planet.
oh, you watched Smallville?
I did actually. He didn't work at the Daily Planet in Smallville, but they
Oh,
talk about it in Smallville.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Clark or Perry?
Clark Perry's not
Okay.
in Smallville, at least in the 3 seasons I saw.
Okay. Well,
Maybe he
it
comes
would
back
make
up.
sense because I feel like he's not in Smallville. He's at Metropolis.
Right. Yes.
I think it was fun bringing Lawrence Fishburne on for like a pretty. I don't even. It's a supporting role, but it's very minor to Clark. He almost no relation to Superman at all. He's a lot of interaction with Lois Lane, and then just a little sidebar. I just really like his moment during the destruction where he does a good kind moment where his reporter or his like one of the interns working there is trapped under some rubble, and he and one other guy works there just is trying to like hoist her out of there with some pry bar, and they can't do it, and it's about to bring, and they just stay with her instead of running for their own lives. They're like, we're with you to the end. And I was like, oh, that moment, people doing good things, like just
Mm-hmm. A lot of
showing
hope in this
humanity.
movie.
A lot
I
of
will
hope.
also say too that I liked Lawrence Fishburne in this because he has comedic moments, and we rarely ever get to see Lawrence Fishburne doing comedy. So like he's got some funny lines and some
Yeah.
funny quips, and like that's something very different from him. So I do think he stands out, and I do like his character, and I like him a lot too. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of moments where there's just nice human beings doing human being nice things, and that's just always nice to see. It's always refreshing to have hope in humanity.
Another thing I like about this movie is Lois Lane just doing journalism. She is just like she gets some information, goes to something, gets some more information, learn and keeps moving, and at the same time kind of like um she gets the sense of like who she kind of can track down who this alien creature person is, and that's how she develops a relationship with Clark. I
Yeah.
just like the way that she does good reporting to me. It's way better reporting than our sequel, Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
That we'll have to talk on another. Yeah,
A
that we'll
whole
talk
other
about
episode.
on a whole nother episode.
A
This
whole
movie,
episode.
I enjoy Amy Adams in this
Hmm.
particular movie.
Yeah.
I watched both of these back to back, and yeah, we'll just talk about Man of Steel this time.
Yeah, we'll get
Stay
into
tuned for
stay
future
tuned.
episodes for Batman vs Superman.
We have thoughts on that. Thoughts.
In this version, I just like her reporting. One the thing I do not like or care about is her kissing Superman.
Yeah.
I don't think it's earned. disagreeing with whoever had that review at the beginning that we needed more romance. I don't think that from that moment there is not like a romantic moment between them. It's just, I'm reporting on you. I know your secret. You helped save me. She got blasted by some robot, surveillance creature, and she almost dies, but he saves her. So there's like we're bonded. Like you helped me out. I got your back.
Yeah.
She does fall from a spaceship, and he, Superman catches her before she falls, and then when they land, she kisses him, which I don't think is like earned, because I think it's played like it's romantic, which I feel like if it was a kiss for like, oh, thank you, it would be like a kiss on the cheek. Mouth kissing seems sexual to me, and I just didn't feel earned or romantic,
I agree with you on that, because I like this version of Lois, or this version of a potential love interest, because you're right, it doesn't start off like that. It just starts off as she witnesses something really strange, in that, like you said, she was about to get beamed in the face by an alien thing, and he helps her out, and like he just takes his hands and rips it apart, and
those
like
arm guns.
So yeah, like as a journalist, especially seeing that, you'd want to be like, wait a minute, what did I just witness? Who are you? What's this about? What's going on? So I like that. Yeah, he's just like a mystery that we need to solve, because that was a very strange moment. And like, yeah, while he saved her, it's still like she doesn't necessarily look for him like, my savior, my prince, I need to find my prince. It's like, who is this person that was able to do this thing, and what's his deal? And then when she learns and finds out, it's more so like, yeah, okay, I know your secret, I know who you are, I know what's up, but I just I want to just write about you. And he's like, no, and she's like, okay, fine, whatever. It doesn't read to me as like she's hunting him because she fell in love with him and she needs to know who he is. Yeah. And then when she meets him, she falls, like, it's not like that. So you're right, like when
she's more curious, like, hey, there's an outer space thing, alien that could be living on our planet. People want to know about this.
Yeah. And she's kind of also the way that we like connect the idea of like a human interaction with not only Clark but Superman as well. So like I like that she's kind of like our key insight into that. We see it kind of from her perspective, because yeah, she's like the first person outside of his family to know what's up.
She, like the audience, we don't know who he is. We're getting to learn, so the audience kind of can view through her eyes the easiest, I believe.
Yeah, totally. And so yeah, you're right, like it's not very romantic. It's more just like two humans, well, a human and an alien, learning about each other.
I get that, like, yeah, comics, other movies have used, we even had Lois and Clark. I get it.
Lois eventually is in Smallville, yeah.
They eventually what?
Lois pops up in Smallville.
What? You watched Smallville? That's crazy.
Smallville. Yeah, I don't know if you know. It's about Superman as a teenager.
What?
Played by Tom Welling.
But is that like his main love interest in that show?
I don't know. I stopped watching it.
We're not here to talk about Smallville. We're talking about Man of Steel. But
yeah. So we know
those two are going to end up together. We don't need to see them in this movie together.
Right.
And if we get a sequel, which we did, they can be a couple in that one. You could even give us the opening shot of the two of them in Batman vs Superman, where where he comes home to her. Oh, they're living together? Cool. I didn't need to see them become a couple. I just know they're a couple. It makes sense because we saw them be friends, get to know each other. It would only make sense that these two attractive people that are both pretty great people ended up together. Sure. I can guess what happened between. I don't need you to tell me.
Right. Yeah. So having him like save her, which like she was in such a position that she's like literally falling and gonna die. Like she needs help. She needs help. And so for him to save her and then she kisses him felt like, okay, so now all of a sudden she's a damsel in distress. Like, you're right. Like, if someone,
it tweaks it very much to damsel distress, which I was
yeah,
like, that's not the lowest we've had the entire movie.
right. So I don't like that vibe. Like you said, it feels very unearned. Like, all of a sudden it's like, my hero, mwah, as opposed to like, oh my God, you saved me. Thank you so much. Like, I
This
could have
might have
died.
been this might have been fan service.
Yeah, could have
'Cause
been,
I think that's one of the big epic moments in some of the other Superman. You know,
yeah,
just he catches her. This is not the first, or this is not the last time she falls from a great height and has to get saved by him. So,
no.
she loves falling.
She's so clumsy, that girl. But we'll talk
Well,
about it more
she's
later.
not. I don't think she's clumsy in either of the circumstances in which she falls.
Yeah.
In our Man of Steel, she's in a spaceship that is heading towards a bigger ship that is just gonna collide with each other, and she falls out or jumps out.
I don't remember. But either way, like,
I only watched this like
needed,
4 days ago. I don't remember.
I don't remember if she jumps or falls. But I remember that weird ass kiss. So, there you go.
That's true.
So I also have to say something that just does not work for me is the resolution of this movie, or kind of lack thereof.
Okay. Your thoughts? I'm just curious what that means.
So what that means for me is what could it mean is we see a lot of destruction, we see a lot of fight. Zod is this big bad character and we need to stop him, and he is finally stopped because Superman just snaps his neck.
Yeah.
Which, when I watch that, my thoughts are, well, why didn't he do that much sooner?
I don't think he wanted to kill him. I think he was trying to reason with him the whole time, possibly.
Okay, that's an interesting. Because I
don't think Clark ever wants to kill anyone. I think killing someone is the absolute last resort. I don't even think it's an option for him. I don't think he ever thought, I'm going to kill Zod. I just have to prevent him from destroying Earth. Once everyone else has kind of been destroyed by things that aren't Superman, I don't think Superman ends anyone's life, even any minions. He fights them all, but I think they get blown up in spaceships. Zod gives him, this is going to end one of two ways. You die or I die. Those are your two options, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting point, that he never really wanted to, and then he had to, so that's why it was so easy for him to do it, because he could have this whole time he didn't want to. And that also goes back to the idea that, like, Zod's death means that Superman no longer has someone else from his home planet. There's his lineage is gone besides him. There's no one else. So that's pretty heavy. But on top of that, Zod's death and the destruction of Zod's ship, and just like the loss of Krypton's possible future, that's really big. Like, that's really big. But for me, in the end, it just feels like very casual and sort of anticlimactic. Like, okay, it's done. Like, we got rid of his ship and we killed him, and like, that's it. It really isn't like that powerful to me. And Zod does say something to Superman, like, if you die and you do all this, like, if I'm it, like, then Krypton's done. And so that's, again, big deal. And it just didn't feel like it.
The Codex is still around, though, isn't it?
It's like in Superman.
It's in Superman.
It's
Superman. Not the key. The key is something else.
Right. So yes, like, he is his people, but like at the same time, that's it. Like, that's all that's left is him.
But Krypton's already gone. There is no bringing it. I mean, what Zod's mission was, after Krypton's blown up and he can't make Krypton better, is to use those two spaceships to make Earth bigger in mass.
Yeah.
To turn it into the next Krypton where Kryptonians could live.
Right.
But that would kill all the humans.
Yeah.
And that's where Superman was like, you know what? No, I can't do this. They got to have a chance, the chance we never had. So, no. And if that means killing Zod, so be it. Like, that was the choice. That was the only choice he was presented because he wanted to save everyone instead of just the lost race of his people.
Yeah, and I do, but I think, I don't know, like that's very heavy that we're dealing with this concept of extinction, or who deserves a second chance, if you will. um
Hey, that's the name of the podcast.
that's the title.
Oh man.
Yeah, but like, so that's very heavy things we're dealing with, and those are heavy decisions that Superman has to make. But again, like when it all kind of gets to a resolution, it just kind of feels like, oh well, that's how it had to be. Like yeah, of course, that's dead and destruction, whatever.
I mean,
Like,
Zod was also about to laser eye some civilians.
yeah,
And yeah, Clark had the strength to just hold his head steady, but what is he going to do that for like infinite amount of years? Because until Zod's like, okay, never mind, I won't do it. Zap.
yeah, I don't know. For me,
so the only way to stop Zod is, you can even see it in like, Superman's face, like, oh no, he doesn't want to do it, and even afterwards he screams because like he's just did not want to do that at all.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, like
Poor
there was
Supes.
something like missed the mark for me, where like I didn't feel that like with him for whatever reason.
Okay.
And it's no one's acting that did that. Again, it could be the non-linear story, I don't know.
You know what I think it is? I think you're just upset because Michael Shannon had to die.
That's true,
And
probably.
I didn't want Michael Shannon to go either, but he delivered such a character and so great that, yeah, Zod just has to go. We can't continue with Zod. Although I would watch so many Zod movies with Michael Shannon.
Oh my god, yeah, I would watch just like Zod's day to day, like what's up with him, just like him going about his life.
Hold up, I gotta go get a sandwich.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's something that I didn't want Michael Shannon to die, but like at the same time, I don't know, just didn't do it for me. Just didn't. The ending just kind of felt like, oh well, we're gonna stop right here. For me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta get ready for more superheroes.
A lot more coming at you.
The movie was, how long is that movie? About it's a little over 2 hours, or does it hit the 3 hour mark?
It does not hit the 3 hour mark, but I think it hits the 2.5 hour mark.
It's roughly 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a length. It's got some length on it.
It does. Not as much.
It had to end at some time.
That's true. It did have to stop.
Its sequel. Its sequel goes on for quite a while.
Forever. But again, we'll get into that later. So what are your thoughts on the second chance that you gave Man of Steel? Does Man of Steel deserve a second chance with audiences?
I think it does. I think it tells a really nice superhero story about a really kind-hearted, person from another world having to adapt to our world. And he's just awesome. I like him a lot. Yeah, I just think the character of Superman is one that's pretty underrated. I think it's just not as like, I don't know why it just hasn't had a lot of like epic like movies and comic, like the like stick with everyone like Batman has. I think he's like, I don't want to say he's second banana to Batman, but he's definitely Batman's shadow as terms of like superheroes on DC side. But Superman's, I think, needs to be more prevalent. I think there's a lot of Superman stories we haven't seen, at least in the movies, that I think we should. I feel like he has a lot of like villains that in his catalog that I want to see. I want to see him deal with those. I don't need another Lex Luthor story. He's been in every iteration of Superman, and those two are not as tight as Batman and Joker. So let's have Superman deal with some other issues.
Yeah, I think that that's a really good point, in that like we have a whole wealth of shit for Superman, but unlike Batman or Spider-Man even, we don't get to go deeper with him usually. It's usually very like minimum origin and Lex Luthor, and that's what
Well,
we
I think
get.
the big critique is he's just too powerful. He can do whatever he wants. Put him in a situation where he can't, or show him doing the more human things.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what was interesting about this movie, and like we'll get into this more when we do our BVS episode, but like I think that this would have been a very good like first Superman movie. And then if we had a Captain America situation where we got more Superman movies and then we're able to build on that, I think that then this movie would have been better in my mind. So
Okay.
you know what I'm
So
saying? Like it would have been a good first movie. This was a good first Superman movie, is what I'm trying to say.
as far as the DCEU that we have gotten so far, I think it's capped itself. I think they're in the process of rebooting everything right now. But I think this is the best DCEU movie we've gotten. I think it tells a strong story, strong origin story of someone that's extraordinary.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I think for me, Wonder Woman would be a close second, but the only reason why Man of Steel is above it is because the villain is just Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon. Yeah.
There's that. If Michael Shannon wasn't Wonder Woman, it would be a tie.
The Zod character is just a more compelling villain than any of the other villains I think we've gotten in our DCEU.
Yeah.
Again, because it's kind of one like I half root for him, but I don't. Like I understand why this guy, but man, he's not doing this right.
Yes.
I definitely give this one a thumbs up. It's something I'll probably keep coming back to every 5 to 10 years, because it's a pretty solid movie and it's still visually pleasing to watch. I think that's half the thing of movies is it's got to have a great story and great visuals, and you know that's it. It holds up in both of those regards.
I agree with you. I would say that it is worth giving a second chance, but if you're not really into superheroes or if you're not really into Superman, but you've watched Smallville, then I would say that this is a good movie to give a second chance to while you're kind of doing something else. So like it's a good like background noise movie. It's a good movie to just put on while you're cleaning or folding clothes or writing something, whatever. It's a good like have it on, but you don't need to have been fully engaged with it. Like I think you can kind of come in and out a little bit. It is 2.5 hours. So I say give it a second chance. If you can't find anything else to put on and you are doing some stuff around the house, put it on. Just put it on.
All right, we got a second chance movie.
We got a second chance movie.
Give it a second chance.
Give it another chance. It's not. I still say that like while there's issues that I have with it, there's some things that like I don't like about it. I don't think it was as bad as people were originally saying. I think people were a little too harsh on it. Like you said, it's still like a very visually engaging movie. It's stunning.
It definitely has a darker tone than any Superman movie we've had before. And maybe audiences weren't kind of used to the darker tone, but now they crave it.
Yeah.
Give us the dark. Give us the rated R. Gimme.
I mean, people saw Joker.
Oh yeah, people watched that movie.
People watched that movie for darkness. So yeah, I think that could have been something we weren't used to, like this gritty superhero thing. And
especially
I think
for one that's like so like I don't know.
Bubblegum Pop is like, you know, he's very like Superman.
Very Midwest. The dark Midwest.
I'm from the Midwest. Shit is gritty there. I will tell you that.
Oh, well. Cool. Let's get that movie going.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, we both say give Man of Steel second chance. Why not? It's if you like DC movies.
Why not? What are you doing?
Yeah, we should be all at home. So like, just watch it. You know?
If you're listening to this in the pandemic, definitely watch it. What are you doing with your time?
Yeah,
Of
what else are you
course.
doing? Yeah, just
Stay home.
stay home.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay super.
Stay super.
Second chance